بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, viewers. My name is Sumayya Hassan. I am the hostess of Aspire, and I'm very honored to welcome you all to today's session where we are talking about time management. Time management is inextricably linked to your personal brand. We spoke about personal branding in a previous episode. And this is crucial because it instills trust, it instills credibility. This is what your personal branding does. And therefore, if you are unable to show up and you're unable to deliver on time, then it affects how you are perceived. And this is how time management is a very critical part of your personal branding. How are you known? Are you that person who will strive and is known to be there on time or in time? You arrive just in time, just before you get late is when you get there. Or do you arrive on time? You are there before the time of whatever it is that you are required. Or are you the one that after people have started, perhaps it's a meeting, 5-10 minutes into the meeting, you're running in, huffing and puffing, sweating. You're known to be that person guaranteed to be late no matter the function. It's a key part of your personal branding. Time is a precious commodity, and indeed it is an extremely important amana from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so it is our responsibility to utilize time, the time that we have been blessed with, to succeed, not only in this world but also in the next. Sometimes perhaps we don't think about just how much of a blessing time is. And somebody said once, if you want to know the value of 1 minute, for example, this is by way of an example, if you want to know the value of a minute, ask somebody who has just missed their flight. They wish they had turned up just 1 minute before, If you want to know the value of 9 months, somebody said, ask somebody who has lost a child. Then you will really understand what is 9 months. So the concept of time, the blessing that is inherent in time is such that we really need to appreciate what it is as a blessing to us from the Almighty, and therefore we need to honor this blessing by ensuring we make the very best use of this resource that has been blessed to us. Based on the habits that we may develop, you find people struggling with time. So for example, there are people who procrastinate on every issue. They cannot make a decision. As a result of which, you find their time management is very adversely affected. They cannot decide on any single thing. No matter what it is, it takes them time and so much time to think and rethink and go back on it again. And it's almost like you sometimes are looking for excuses for this thing not to work. Yes, and فَإِذَا عَزَمْتَ فَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ. Do your groundwork, do your due diligence, consult, but at some point you need to make the decision. You need to have tawakkul in Allah and move. You need to execute, implement, and move. It is said that it takes 21 days to break a habit. And so the good news, therefore, is if indeed it does take, whether it's 21 or whatever other period, the point here is that you can break a habit. That's the good news. So even if you have a time management problem, the good news is you can unlearn that and relearn the new habits that you need to enable you be very time conscious and improve your time management. Allah tells us in Surah Al-Asr, Surah 103, verse 1 to 3, by the token of time, by time. Verily man is in loss. Man is in a state of loss except those who believe and do good, and exhort one another to truth, and exhort one another to patience. And this is one surah that really powerfully highlights to us the importance of time. Allah is teaching us through the lens of time that unless we focus on the things that are important, and He has highlighted a number of things here, a number of virtues that we need to focus on, then we will not succeed if we don't focus on the virtues that He has highlighted. But He has used the lens of time to then focus on these virtues. And that is just an incredible way of highlighting to us the importance of time. Remember, the surah starts is after Allah swearing by time, He tells us that verily man is in a state of loss. So if Allah is reminding us about loss, that is such a huge thing. It really demands our immediate attention. What is this thing that we are being told is going to lead to our loss? We should sit up and take notice and seek to avoid that which He has warned us will lead us into loss. Because that's not how we want to meet Him, having squandered, our chances of mercy and forgiveness and blessings. And yet He has already pre-warned us to take heed about this matter. So there are certain tips in our effort to improve our time management that can help us manage time and help us to focus on the 4 virtues highlighted in Surah Wal-Asr. This should then help us, inshallah, improve our productivity, but also help us to achieve our goals, help us build the reputation that is part of our personal brand, and help us meet the various objectives we have set for ourselves, inshallah, both in this life and the next. Number 1, strive to be punctual. Punctuality is so critical. It is an important attribute of Islamic living. So many of our things in Islam, of our obligations, are based on time. Whether it is fasting, whether it is salah, whether it is hajj, so much of what we are required to do is time-based. What is our excuse for not being punctual? It really is something we need to focus on and and give due respect to time and how it is that we need to manage it. Punctuality helps us to create a much more peaceful and tranquil environment for ourselves. When you're constantly late for things, you panic, you blame everybody around you except yourself. Because you left late, you blame the traffic, you blame the driver in front, you blame the traffic lights, the policeman, you blame everybody. How about if you factored all those in and therefore left early? Maybe there'll be traffic, maybe there'll be a slow driver in front of me, maybe the lights will not work. Build all that into your time management so that you still have adequate time to get to where you need to get on time. So that when you arrive before the meeting starts and you can calm down, you can prepare yourself for that meeting, you're much more at peace, you're much more focused, you're less likely to be worked up and perhaps to even forget important things. Our Prophet, peace and blessings upon him, when he was asked which act is the best, he sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us, as-salat at their fixed times, being dutiful to parents, striving in the way of Allah. So the point here about Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam emphasizing the need for punctuality, even as he emphasizes about being dutiful to our parents and for striving, all these are really vital traits of a believer. Being time conscious, ensuring that you're not only praying, but that you're praying on time. And he has put that in the same hadith as being dutiful to your parents, as striving in the cause of Allah. That really should make us pause and appreciate how important the time is. Number 2, auditing your time. Every once in a while, take a break, like at the end of the day, and just very quickly look at your day. How did I spend this day? What did I do today that was productive? Were there time wasters in my day? What are the time wasters? What happened? What did I learn so that I can improve and make tomorrow better? I can do more of what worked, and I can change what it is that didn't work. Number 3, break down your goals into smaller, more manageable tasks. When something looks too big and looks like you can't manage it, then that can lead to procrastination. It can lead to incessant analysis. We call it paralysis by analysis. You keep analyzing to the point that you are now paralyzed. You cannot move. Break it down. Your big task into smaller goals. It's easier for you to track, and therefore easier for you to implement, easier for you to prioritize. Identify your quick wins and get to executing. Number 4, plan your day. Have a routine for your day. We are told that the Prophet ﷺ would divide his hours into 3 segments, where he had time for spiritual development, he had time for family affairs, and he had time for personal and social affairs. So what can we learn from this about planning our day and planning our time? Let us schedule our activities. Schedule your activities. Nowadays, there are all sorts of apps and tools online. Many of them are free that you can use to help you plan your day, to help you schedule your day. They even have things they call nudges. And those are like little reminders you set for yourself or for your team. And it sends, it like pings them to remind them, have you done this? This is now due. So use all these tools that are available to have a plan. Don't just go about your day just like that. Remember, we have 5 prayers given to us in a day. That in itself should show you that we are a people who are about planning. And you can actually plan yourself around your prayers and schedule yourself. So perhaps you fix your time for prayer, fix your time for exercise. What about your quality family time? What about your time for eating? What about your time for mental development? Maybe reading. Just a time for you to exhale, to relax. Try and schedule all the important things into your time. Number 5, prioritize your health and well-being. You need to listen to your body. You need to practice stress management, maintain a healthy diet, avoid unhealthy habits, unhealthy snacking, and do the things that give you peace of mind, that give you better health outcomes. Read your Quran. Get contentment from reading your Quran. Do your adhkar. Get the peace that comes from having your adhkar, from sending salawat upon Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Take and plan to have at least a 30-minute walk. If you can schedule 30 minutes in every day, this is very impactful. It will give you energy. It will give you the feel-good pheromones. It will make you energetic and creative and productive. And that then helps you in managing the other tasks that you have planned for that day. Number 6, prioritize sleep. You need to ensure that you get adequate rest, because that way you wake up feeling more energized, you wake up feeling more focused, you can handle the day ahead and whatever challenges and joys that it brings much better. And one of the ways to do this is to avoid having gadgets in your bedroom. Avoid getting into bed with your laptop and your iPad and your phone. In fact, avoid having a TV in your bedroom. That should be your sanctuary for resting. You can do your ibadah there, which gives you contentment, and you sleep. But not getting into there and you have things pinging and ponging the whole night. You can't rest. And then you wake up, you've been sleeping, but you wake up tired. And you spend the whole day being very irritable and not very productive. That's not a very good way to manage your time. Number 7, it is said, work in 90-minute segments. Yes, and we are told that there is scientific evidence that suggests that humans can concentrate on a task for about 90 minutes. So after 90 minutes, give yourself a break. Do something else. Perhaps get up, walk around, if you're able to look out into the garden or into some greenery, that then also is very calming for your eyes, is very refreshing for your mind, do that. Breathe in, get some fresh air, stand up and stretch, do another task. But take a break so that by the time you come back for the next 90-minute segment, you're energized now and you have recharged yourself to be productive. Number 8, try and establish a closing routine at the end of this day. This gives you an opportunity to reflect and almost do a self-audit of your actions. What did I set out to do today? What did I accomplish? What is pending? What is still yet to be done? And this allows you to practice self-accountability. Because you've planned your day, how do you know whether you achieved? Yes, as you go along, doing and not doing, you will know. But it's really a very nice, simple exercise where at the end of the day, you can take a break and just have a look. What did I do? What did I not do? Why? Why did this happen? What worked? What didn't work? What have I learned? So that tomorrow you can seek to improve. Number 9, try to avoid over multitasking. Over is the word I'm using. If you over multitask, sometimes you barely have time to touch and finish anything because you're trying to do too many things. So the idea is, even as you seek to multitask, you really need to have focus. You need to prioritize. You need to know what it is that you can do when, what is the maximum really that you're able to do so that your output is maximized and your burnout is minimized. Number 10, find focus in a distracted world. You may find that your time is not adequately managed if you're not focusing on any task. And the world we are living in today has too many distractions. Too many. If you're not focused on eliminating the distractions, these become your time stealers. And so you may want to do certain things. You may want to turn off notifications so that you can concentrate on a certain task. You may want to switch off your internet at some point because there's something very important you're working on, and maybe in that particular segment you don't want things going off. You may want to schedule time to look at your emails. So I will look at my email from this time to this time so that from this time to this time I'm doing my other work. Or this time to this time I am focusing on the children. This time to this time I am looking at my housework. Whatever the case is, you need to eliminate distractions so that you help yourself succeed in your plan. You may want to just find a quiet area, even if you're working from home, and you can say this particular corner of my living room or this particular corner of my balcony. Perhaps you're blessed to have a garden, you have a corner in the garden, but eliminate distractions so that you can get the job done. Number 11, tame your tools. Make sure that all these tools that are there to help you don't become the reason for you not succeeding, because now they become your biggest distraction. And you really need to be careful because everything now wants to communicate with you. Everything now has become smart and is sending you messages, and once it can get too much if you don't manage it. And so you need to be very careful about that so that the tools that you have bought yourself don't become the reason for you getting stressed and fatigued because there's just too much happening that now you need to manage. Yes, you need to be very purposeful in what it is that will add value to you and what it is that is a distraction that you need to keep away from. Number 12, honor other people's time. In as much as you seek to appreciate the blessing of time that has been granted to you, remember this blessing has been granted to other people as well, and it is not right for you to waste this resource for others. There are some people who are very good at wasting time. And in fact, they will tell you that, oh, you know what have you been doing? Oh, no, I'm just killing time. I'm just wasting time. Really? Do you say that about another resource? Do you say, I'm just wasting money? I'm just, throwing some money around? It is a resource. You need to respect your time and you need to respect other people's time. Honor their time by turning up on time. And if it is a meeting, ensure that the meeting also ends on time. Even when it is a visit, there are appropriate times to visit people. There is such a thing as overstaying your welcome. So honor people's time. Finally, don't beat yourself up too much if you didn't manage your time very well. The point here is to learn. What did you learn about how you managed today? What worked? What did not work? What is it that you can take from those lessons to help you improve on your time management tomorrow for the sake of yourself and for the sake of the people who interact with you? Remember, we are told by the Prophet ﷺ that the best among you are those who have the best manners and the best character. And from everything we've discussed, time management is really part of somebody's character. And you want to be that person who is known for having a character, a trait of being punctual with time, of being respectful of time and managing their time very well. Now, these are tips that I have shared. At the end of the day, which ones of these will actually work for you then becomes a very personal thing. It will depend on the context you're in. We have different strengths and different weaknesses and different sensitivities. But it is important that we acknowledge time as a resource and that we are very deliberate in managing this resource so that we obtain maximum benefit for ourselves and those who interact with us, both in this life and inshallah in the life to come. Jazakumullah khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.